Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Burgundy Bets. I am your host, Ron Burgundy. If you're new to this channel, we go over all things NFL related, whether that's season-long fantasy, DFS, over-unders, win totals, NFL futures, weekly spreads. If it's NFL related, or we could possibly make some money on it, we're going to talk about it. If that seems like your type of thing, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. This video, I will be going over my top 30 NFL wide receiver projections from a PPR rated format. Once again, PPR, points per reception. This video will have 10 through 1, 11 through 20, and 21 through 30. Will drop on the channel shortly. Let's get right into it. Number 10, Mike Evans. 27 years old, the three-time Pro Bowler. Mike Evans in 7 seasons has never had less than 1,000 receiving yards and never less than 67 receptions. This team really came together down the stretch last year, obviously winning the Super Bowl. Now Tom Brady actually has a full offseason with this team. Continuity and timing with these receivers should only improve. I'm expecting big double-digit win totals and a lot of points scored here from this Tampa team. Mike Evans should only benefit from that and produce as he always has. I have Mike Evans projected for 80 receptions, 1,200 yards, and 12 touchdowns for 272 fantasy points. Number 9, DK Metcalf, 23 years old. After a solid rookie year, DK put up over 80 yards a game in his second season with 129 targets. This guy's an absolute freak. If you can imagine Terrell Owens, if Terrell Owens was taller and ran a 4.3 40. Shredded, so hard to defend. I expect DK Metcalf to only excel again this year with projections of 86 receptions, 341 yards, and 10 touchdowns. 280.1 points for DK Metcalf. Number 8, Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry was by far the best offensive player for the Washington football team last year. He put up over 1,100 receiving yards with Dewey Haskins throwing him the football the first half of the year, and then Alex Smith in the second half of the year. This team did go out and sign Ryan Fitzpatrick to be their starting quarterback. I see that as an upgrade, and I think Terry McLaurin will benefit from it. I have Scary Terry projected for 100 receptions, 1,400 yards, and 7 touchdowns for 282 points. Number 7, Justin Jefferson, 22 years old. Justin Jefferson exploded in his rookie year, 125 targets, over 1,400 receiving yards. This is going to be the same team. Clint Kubiak, the quarterback's coach, is now promoted to offensive coordinator. Mike Zimmer's still the head coach. Kirk Cousins still throwing the rock. I expect JJ to produce again the same way. I have Justin Jefferson projected 90 receptions, 1,395 yards, and 9 touchdowns for 283.5 fantasy points. Number 6, DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, 29 years old. His first year in Arizona, he was targeted 160 times and put up over 1,400 receiving yards. Now, this team did go out and sign A.J. Green in the offseason and did use their second-round pick on Purdue wide receiver standout Rondale Moore. That could take away some of the targets from DeAndre Hopkins, but Kyler does look his way a lot. I have DeAndre Hopkins projected for 110 receptions, 1,320 yards, and 8 touchdowns, 290 fantasy points for D-Hop. Number 5, Michael Thomas. Now, if any of you guys had Michael Thomas in your 2019 fantasy leagues, you probably won. He put up the most receptions and most yards. He absolutely killed it. No more Drew Brees on this team. Jameis Winston will be the slotted number 1 quarterback. Funny thing about Jameis here, he had LASIK eye surgery in the offseason last year. When he was playing quarterback for Tampa, this guy couldn't read street signs. Maybe that's why he threw so many interceptions. This guy can see now. He's throwing to Michael Thomas. I expect a big year. In 2017, Michael Thomas had 149 targets. 2018, 147. And then obviously that big year in 2019, 185. I have Can't Guard Mike projected for 110 receptions, 1,210 yards, and 10 touchdowns for 291 points. That yards total might even be light. It could be higher than that. Number 4, Tyreek Hill. Now, if this was a standard scoring system, Tyreek Hill would be number 1. But this is not standard scoring. This is points per reception. And I have Tyreek Hill at number 4 with a projected 312.8 fantasy points. We all know Tyreek Hill, most electric player in the league. He has the number 1 quarterback throwing him the ball. They get involved screen passes, jet sweeps, anything to get the ball in this guy's hand, and it's a good idea. I have Tyreek projected for 85 receptions, 1,241 receiving yards, 137 rush yards, and 15 total touchdowns for the Cheetah. Number 3, Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley, 26 years old, Atlanta Falcons. Ridley had 143 targets last year. Julio Jones played in 7 games and had 68 targets. Where are those targets, those 68 targets, going to go? They're probably going to go to Calvin Ridley. There's no other number one wide receiver on this team. Kyle Pitts was selected. He could line up out wide. I doubt it. I expect a huge year for Calvin Ridley. We could see north of 200 targets going Calvin Ridley's way. I have Calvin Ridley projected for 117 receptions, 1,521 yards, and 10 touchdowns for 329.1 fantasy points. Number 2, Stefon Diggs, 27 years old. Stefon Diggs had 166 targets last year. Huge volume with this offense. He's in the prime of his career. I see another monster year from the former Maryland college star. Josh Allen throwing him the football, an elite offense. He is going to get the rock, and he's going to produce again. Projected stats for Stefon Diggs: 125 receptions, 1,562 receiving yards, and 10 touchdowns for 341.25 fantasy points. And number 1, Davante Adams. Now, if you had Davante Adams stacked with Aaron Rodgers in your fantasy league last year, you probably won your league. There are no other number 1 wide receivers on this team, which is why Aaron Rodgers is a little upset. This team continuously uses their draft picks towards the future instead of to win right now. This team made back-to-back NFC Championship games, losing both of those. And Aaron's a little upset that this team is not investing in the now while he's there in his prime winning football games. I expect Aaron Rodgers to come back, and with that being said, when he does, Davante Adams is the number 1 guy. I have Davante Adams projected for 120 receptions, 1,440 yards, 14 touchdowns for 348 fantasy points. That is 10 through 1. The other videos will drop right up here. Go ahead and subscribe right down there. And on Burgundy Bets, I'll see you on the next video.